That light bulb came into her head and she called me and said, hey, you want to do another business? I was like, sure. What you want to do? And she mentioned fingerprinting.
I firmly believe that stuff comes back around. It's like our whole motto. It's our mission. It's like, listen, just like help people and you will be helped. We're just going to continue going down that path. So welcome everybody back to another video. Today I have Jamaal from Atlanta Fingerprints going over how he started fingerprinting, what he's doing with fingerprinting now, and what he's looking to do in the future in order to grow his business. I'm super excited. Welcome, Jamaal. How's it going?
Thank you for having me, Dan. It's going wonderful.
Awesome. Awesome, man. It's my pleasure. I know it's been a minute since we spoke. But before starting this video, we were kind of chatting up and just, talking about the industry so far. But for the people that are watching, for the people that, right now, because fingerprinting right now is like, it's trending up. I check Google Trends all the time. How to start a fingerprinting business trends upwards all the time. So like we're making waves. You caught the wave a little bit early. I was happy to hear that you're having a lot of success so far. So you just briefly, in your own words, let me know and let like everybody else know, like, how did you even get started in this industry? And I don't even know the answer to this question. I probably should ask you before that. But like, how did you even like find out about this? How did you know about this?
Well, my mom actually found out about this. She's a nurse. She was a nurse for about 40 years. And she has friends at a nursing agency that she always keeps up with. And she called one day and they were talking for a while. And she said, hey, a guy that's been working here it's been a while, probably about 10 years or so. He started a fingerprinting business in our office. And now he's doing so well that we're going to have to kick him out. There's too much traffic going through our office. That light bulb came into her head and she called me and said, hey, you want to do another business? I was like, sure. What you want to do? And she mentioned fingerprinting. And of course, we did some Google searching and some YouTubing and we found you. And that was the next step. We just jumped on with you guys and we did a little research, but you guys definitely have the most, you gave us the most details for sure. And I mean, like, you guys call it a business in a box. It really is. I mean, everything that we need is in that box, and every issue that we're ever going to have is covered in your course.
Thank you. I wasn't asking for a plug, but thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I am very happy just to, let others know. So I understand I'm not being paid for this at all. You guys are amazing.
That's cool, man. Perfect. Listen, so it's funny when we started this, I mean, the way we started as a company is like very similar to your story. So if anybody's been watching, the channel for a while, they know that like I had a marketing agency before this, was partnered with a few other people, did it specifically for fingerprinting businesses. But then I would look online and be like, man, nobody knows about this business. Like you can't Google how to start a fingerprinting business. Like you'll get vague information, but like I didn't know about it. Thankfully, I had, I was working for a national live scan company at the time. Like the CEO of that company took me under his wing, taught me everything I need to know for free. And it was just like, I learned everything about it. And then he started selling, his software. And then we were like, oh, well, more people want to know about this. And it kind of like snowballed from there. So it's just, it's funny to hear other people's experience on like how this even started, because you find out about a new opportunity and then everybody goes to Google and they type in how to start this. And that's been like our mission from like the get-go, is like just to give people the information, because this right now is something that, especially after the pandemic, like customers, they will call places and they just cannot get appointments, or they'll call places and like they won't even answer the phone and stuff like that. So I know we were talking previously about like how many customers you're doing and things like that now. Like how many customers typically are like you getting per day with fingerprinting?
Per day right now, we're still pretty new. We started back in, I guess our launch was in June. We do about 3 a day. And I definitely see the uptrend on that, because before, of course, the first couple of months, we would do maybe 3 or 4 a week. Now we're looking at 3 a day. And the tickets are all over the place. I mean, you can have the cheaper $45, they just come in for a card, you get the prints on their own card, or maybe you provide them a card. And it's the more expensive ones, the people that are going to work overseas, they need visas and stuff like that. Of course, they pay a premium for that. And it's a good amount. So it's growing, and I'm getting more calls every day, and I'm getting more, of course, more Google reviews every day, which is helping with those calls.
Most important thing ever. That's I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm like, the more reviews, the better.
And that's true.
It really is like, it's a shame that like I spent years on a marketing agency to learn all these like nitty gritty details. They come in handy, don't get me wrong. But like literally with fingerprinting, like for anybody watching right now, like Google my business, reviews, learn about the industry. Obviously, you got to know what you're doing. And like your business is set for the most part. So I'm happy to hear that. That's awesome. You definitely started not too long ago. You're in a great area. You're in Atlanta. It seems like everything's going smooth, but like, what's the next step? Because I know you're in our other program in order to build like strategic partnerships and stuff like that. And that's something that's like totally new to us. And like, that's like our next leg up that we're trying to take with, all of our clients. But tell me more about like the reason of why you're in that and like what you're looking to do with your business to take it to like the next step. So maybe not so much 2 to 3 a day, but maybe more along the lines of like, 2 to 300 per month, or maybe even like not so much 2 to 3 a day, but 2 to 3 a day, not so much fingerprint cards, but more of those high ticket clients. Like, what was the reason for you, taking that next leg up in your business?
I don't want to be doing this myself in the next 3 months. And I actually want a second location before the end of the year. So my whole thing is if I can get, I don't know, maybe 10 appointments a day, not even that. See, I can make maybe 5 appointments a day. It'll cover the employee, it'll cover all the expenses and everything like that, and actually put some profit in my pockets. That's the whole goal of mine. I don't want to be an owner operator. Owner operator is great, and I love it, but I've done it all my life, and I want to try something. Yeah, I want to try just being the boss. So
100%.
yeah.
To be transparent, I literally just went through this myself. Like, owner operator is great, don't get me wrong, but like every day that clock is ticking. Like, you got to do this, 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 and this. They say that, entrepreneurs, business owners, they quit a full-time job that, they work 40 hours a week. They quit that so that they can work 80 hours a week. But it's true, but it really is different when you're doing it for yourself as opposed to for somebody else, because if it's yourself, it's yourself, and I know when we were talking before, you said you took a vacation, right?
Right. I'm an avid traveler. I try to go somewhere every 3 months or so. Last week, about a week, yeah, it was a week ago. I was in Panama, so I was just enjoying it. My mother's getting older. My brother's he hasn't traveled much, so I'm trying to kind of grab him and take him into that whole world. We just booked a week over there in Panama City, Panama, and just hung out, and we had a great time. Saw the Panama Canal. We were on a raft. We were feeding monkeys. They were all over us, like on top of her head, on the top of my mom's head, my brother's head,
Awesome.
all over. So it was just a nice family bonding experience, and I like those. I don't want to spend my whole year just working. I want to take a trip every quarter or maybe more.
100%. Yeah. And well, first of all, I'm glad to hear that. Who was like handling the business side of things at home when you were doing that?
Well, I have an emission station now, and I have employees for that emission station. They cover the emissions, they cover the U-Hauls, and we also have some auto sales here. So I trained them before I left, about 2 or 3 weeks before I left. I trained 2 of the employees how to do the fingerprinting. They were very excited about doing it. A lot of people are very excited about doing it. It's a fun thing to see these digital. So I took about 2 weeks. I trained them up. Once you go over it about 4 or 5 times, it's 6. Some stuff is a little bit different, maybe like the way you structure a FDLE, or sometimes they forget to hit submit or something like that, but they can always FaceTime me if there's an issue with that. So the employees that I already have here, I just trying to talk them and train them up. It didn't take much. It didn't take long for them to do it.
Yeah, typically we say, like, I think we say this in the program too. If you could take 10 fingerprints and like they're all good, like you could take 10,000. It's like, It's very repetitive. Like, this is easy, and like you said, it is exciting. Like, when I learned about it, I already had like a full-fledged business with employees, and I learned about it, and I was like, ooh, shiny object. Let me attach myself to this. Thankfully, it worked out, but now we're trying to have other people take the same journey. That's awesome, man. I hear you. To speak about like your vacation, because that's super important. I feel like that a lot of people don't know is maybe people who are watching this right now, maybe people who want to start something, who are working in a job, like there is a route to, and I know you do another business on the side. We could talk about that too, but or maybe not so much on the side, like you do something else also, like fingerprinting was a service that you added to it. But it's very important to like structure yourself so that other people can handle the work that you've been doing for years, so that you can enjoy that time. Like, if you're taking like the jump into entrepreneurship, you know, being a business owner, or if you're taking that leap and saying like, I need to add this service to my business because I want to make more revenue, because then I can use that revenue to hire more people, to buy my time back, and then, you know, enjoy myself to do that. Somebody told me once something. My parents are not too much older. I think my dad's like 58 or something like that. It's bad. I should know that, right? But somebody told me something. They're like, oh, how often do you see your parents? And I was like, you know, they live in other states. And I was like, you know, maybe 2, 3 times a year. And they're like, all right, what's the average life expectancy? And I was like, I guess 80. I don't know. They're like, all right, 2, 3 times a year is what you see them at. They're 58 now. Let's say they go to 80, another 30 years. You're going to see them whatever, how many more, whatever that is, like 300 something times. So like, you're going to see them 300 more times and then they're gone forever. And that like hit me personally. I was like, holy cow, like 300 times. I used to see them every day, you know? So like, that's something that hit me. I just went through something very similar to you where like, you know, having a staff, growing to the next level, buying your time back, still taking profit, but like not so much focusing on chasing the money, but chasing the freedom, which is why we get into this in the first place. So I'm glad to hear that that's good, because that's something that, you know, was very personal to me not too long ago, maybe like 6, 9 months ago. You know, we're recording this the beginning of September. So it's good to hear that, man. I'm happy. But to bring things back like full circle, so you're doing this in with employees that you said, you know, you have a new spot that you're doing it with. What was the business that you did like before this, or that you're still doing right now? Like, what you added the service onto a business you already doing? Like, what are you doing currently?
I've got an emission station. So the whole business structure is we're a car lot, we're a U-Haul rental, and we're an emission station. The emission station is mostly mine. The car lot is mostly my brother's, and the U-Haul we kind of like split. The emissions, it's a very small 5x8 shed, pretty much. And we just finished the inside of it. It looks, we've got a pretty nice inside, but again, it's a tough shed. It's a little shed that you see outside of a Home Depot or something like that, right?
Right.
It was fine for just doing the emissions because the customer never goes in there, or there's
Right.
space doesn't really matter. But once we found this and we found out how little space we need, we just threw a desk in there. We've got the of course the printers and the and our equipment, and we've got a I'm not sure, it's like a standing it attaches to the desk, but it elevates the laptop.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
now they're not even expected to sit down and type in their information or anything like that. As soon as they come in, we invite them in, they stand up, they type in their information, they're in and out of there in 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
I've heard from others that that come by and they say this is so much more convenient than me having to go to a high rise or
Yep.
have parking. And once I pay for parking, I got to go into this big building. I've got to go up to the 10th floor. I've got to find whatever office it is, and by that time, I'm already 30 minutes in. I still got to do my print. So they do their print. They got to come back, and the whole process was almost an hour. We've been only open since June. I've heard about 3 or 4 people tell me, yo, this is where I'm coming from now on, because it's just so convenient. It's probably not the traditional setup, but I mean, it's definitely working for us. We keep it as nice and professional and clean as we can. And so far, so good. I mean, everyone seems to be very comfortable and very, and just love the setup.
Awesome. It's great to hear. It's I always say it's not about the place, it's about the people. Like I'll walk to an outhouse and get fingerprinted. If I meet a nice if I need somebody who's nice and I like them, like whatever, as long as it doesn't smell.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially if I don't have to walk up 10 flights of stairs or an elevator to do it. That's awesome, man. So now we spoke a little bit before about like growing your business. You want to add another location. That's first of all, that's crazy to talk about. Just you started in June, in September, as we're recording this right now. That's crazy. Now with starting another location, what can you tell the people watching on, you know, how they could join? Because like, let's say somebody wants to do this, right? But they want to do it with somebody who's already done it, and they don't want to dive 100% in, but they want to dive like 70%. Like, what would you say to the people who are watching right now who may want to join you and help you start that new location, either as a contractor, employee, or, you know, franchisor, or whatever direction go with your business? Like, what would you say to those people who watch right now who are interested and are like close to you or like in your area? Like, how could you help them out, and how
I
could
would
they help you together?
I would definitely refer them to you. Listen, I'm 100% honest when I'm saying that your information and your classes give you the rundown on everything about this business. Of course, there's going to be snags and along the way, but you guys are during business hours. You guys, I can get you within minutes. It's not an issue. Between you guys and the other vendors, the vendor that you guys use, that
Mhm.
all my questions are answered within 5-10 minutes before the customer leaves, or before they get even agitated about you not knowing exactly what to do in this situation. So fingerprinting classes is what I would recommend to anybody trying to get into this. And if you're worried about having the bulk of business that's going to sustain you, it comes very quickly. Make sure you get those Google reviews. Also, you guys have a program where you teach us how to grow it even quicker. So you're never out here alone. You always have your backing and your company's backing, which is very important for somebody that's got the entrepreneurial spirit, but they don't know what to do. I would tell them pay for your education. You need it. It's a necessary. You got to have it, and jump on with you guys, because I haven't seen anything else that's comparable to what you give.
Appreciate that. Thank you. A lot of hard work, sweat, and tears go into that. I was gonna say blood, but like we're sitting behind a computer, so. You know what I mean? Listen, Jamaal, that's awesome. For anybody watching right now, like that's super cool, man. I know it's been a minute since we've done these interviews. We've been in like grind mode because we've been trying to create results, you know. And I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. I'm glad to know that you're taking the next leap up. And let's take these next 3 months to like crush it for you guys. Do 2, 3, 4, 5 more locations. Do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I'm excited for you. I'm excited that you're willing to share it with with the audience and just the general public. And I firmly believe that stuff comes back around. That's like our whole motto. It's our mission. Is like, listen, just like help people, and you will be helped. Like you will be rewarded. So far, for you, it's been true. For us, it's been true. And we're just going to continue going down that path. So for anybody watching right now, there is a link down below that if you want to take these same steps, there is going to be a link down below that you can click for more information. All that stuff. If you're watching this right now, listen to Jamaal's story, and thank you again for sharing. This is amazing information. Not too many people are like willing to put themselves out there, so we really do appreciate that. And again, we weren't asking for the free plugs, I promise. but thank you again. There is a link down below for more information in the description. You guys can click it. Fingerprinting classes, Atlanta Fingerprints. Jamaal, everybody, thank you again for joining. We really appreciate your time. We're looking forward to seeing you continue to grow.
That sounds great. Thank you again for having me, Dan.
Beautiful. My pleasure.